And that's cool. But really, I'm just going to ask you, Saba, from the 2 days, how is it going to change you tomorrow? How are you going to apply it? What were the things that you thought were the strengths that you're going to apply tomorrow?
I think that they will be the questioning, to be honest. I think that all of the mind gap in terms of how to question and who and differently depending on their roles, but also depending on um, the client side and what they do, all of the details around the three layers in IT and all of that. It's not necessarily some question that I always, you kind of let you go with the flow sometimes when you go to
Yes.
client's interview,
Yeah.
client meeting and like job brief. And I think that that will bring definitely some structure in terms of
Yes.
the information that I need to get out with
Yes.
at the end of a meeting, and then
Yeah.
be very much more specific when I'm talking to a DevOps, that I'm talking to a tester, to a senior project manager.
That's brilliant. And of course, you've got all the mind maps to fall back on, not because you need to learn the mind maps, but if you go into a meeting, get in there, quickly understand it, and have some good questions for you before you go into the meeting or before you speak to a candidate. So that's, yeah, and you're feeling warmer about the whole topic now, I hope.
Yes.
Superb, superb. Alec, what about
Yeah.
yourself?
I feel like having like a bit of technical understanding now, how everything
Yeah.
links together, especially with DevOps, stuff like that. I recruit for those roles a lot. Definitely helped me kind of have a bit more meaningful conversations with my candidates,
That's good.
as well as kind of understanding the life cycle of projects in a bit more detail. Kind of keeping an eye open for those business analyst roles.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, see down the line that there's going to be, an influx of devs and architects and stuff like that. I think that'd be really useful.
Yeah, and I think all of you picked up on this, but you particularly as well, that there is this kind of thread between the roles. And you can start asking questions about cross-selling, upselling, seeing what's going on in the environment. That's why it's really good to keep in touch with the candidates so that you can ask about what's going on in there, how's it going, what are they using, what are the technologies at play, and that's a chance for you to feed information back into other areas of the process. But well done, superb. Amy, what about yourself?
I think I need to start booking in 2 hours for my client meetings now, not one.
That's the
Um,
one. That is
so,
so good.
but
Awesome.
yeah, same as Saba really in terms of that sort of hardware, the operating systems, and then the application, and having the understanding now of about sort of open and closed, and
Yeah,
just being able to add that extra level of detail to client meetings.
yeah,
And I think I feel much more confident just in general, really holding a conversation about things like cybersecurity, talking about like vectors and attacks
yeah,
and that kind of thing.
yeah,
And then obviously linking in from today about the IT department structure
yeah,
and knowing sort of the right questions to ask around whether they're using agile, waterfall, DevOps, and what that looks like. And I
yeah.
just think it's going to add a lot more detail to the conversations that I'm having in meetings and getting a lot more understanding really of the whole setup.
That's so good. And I think all of you, it's gonna happen. But yourself, Amy, do you now feel confident that whatever they throw at you, you can pretty much pick up a conversation thread there and take it further? Whereas
Yeah.
before you might have, because we put these pigeonholes into play. So you can say, oh, that's one of those. Now you can still ask, actually in cybersecurity, I've not come across that before. Is that an attack vector or what is that? And then they'll say, actually, it's a tool, whatever.
Yeah.
So nice. Well done. Excellent. Liam, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to help me understand, especially on the candidate side when talking to someone about a role, where they're coming from and also where the client's needs are coming from as well, and just sort of having that better link and understanding of what they're looking for and obviously being able to ask those sort of right questions,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, sort of the roles that I get on. I mean, I've just got a new one on for a BA, which I haven't done before.
Yeah.
I've mainly done, I've done architects, I've done, network engineers, but yeah. So basically, using Holistica, I can definitely sort of go onto the platform and instead of just Googling or using Copilot or
Yeah.
sort of finding some reading or even asking a colleague,
Yeah.
I know I could probably go to Holistica and find a good sort of background foundation understanding and
Perfect.
obviously, yeah, go from there really.
That is so good. And we're constantly, and the beauty is you can go and check the mind map out quickly.
Yes, yeah,
Quick
definitely.
snippet, get the mind map in front of you, sound amazing on the phone, brilliant. But we are continually adding now. We're doing role playing, we're, in terms of how you would interview someone. There's a podcast going up with all the latest stuff going on. So that is excellent. No, Liam, that is absolutely the way to think about this. So thank you so much. That is superb.
That was really good. Cheers.
Thank you. What about yourself, Marcus?
Yeah, it's really good feedback. I feel like I'm a lot more equipped now. Like I said before, like I just felt like sometimes I was just participating in conversations without not knowing what to say, but now I can actually have the conversations, which is good. So I feel like a lot more equipped to just face people, candidates and clients alike. So yeah, really appreciate it.
No, that's it. It's again getting away from the fox and becoming the hedgehog a bit more, and and now you've all got the confidence to think, actually, now I'm going to delve deeper into this. What is this? What does it do? Well, Holistica will kind of probably tell me a bit more about, but I'm actually going to check it out a bit more as well. And then you'll really, this industry is not like accountancy, it's not like finance. It's the candidates really are passionate about what they do, and if you are passionate about the stuff as well, they'll pick it up in the tone of your voice, and that's key. So you have to kind of become the consultant, become the actual tech consultant, and then they'll really understand that you're not a paper pusher, you're actually enjoying this stuff. So that is awesome. Lovely. Thank you, Marcus. Lewis, what about yourself, mate? Don't lose.
Yeah, keen to start questioning people because I deal with a lot of project managers, and I felt like I was going through the motions a little bit in terms of my questioning. So I really like some of the terminology that came out of the project manager one about being like a facilitator, impediment remover, and then the servant leader stuff. Like just a different way of sort of asking the questions instead of just saying, "Hey, how's your stakeholder engagement?" Instead, I'll just like phrase it these ways to sort of try and lure some different information out of them, because I feel like people, when you call in them, they just want to say the most obvious answers. So I think that's another way of getting around it and asking questions where I wouldn't really think of them in that role, but that is the necessary role that they do. So interesting just to attack it from a different angle, sort of thing.
And also, can you imagine from their side, their perspective, they've been interviewed by a bunch of recruiters who are asking the same old questions again and again. And here is you who actually suddenly goes in and comes at it from a different angle, looks at it in a more technical way. You are going to stand out in their mind as well.
Exactly that.
No, thank you, mate. Martin, what about yourself?
Well, I feel much more confident right now after those 2-day session we have had, and I really gotta miss this session tomorrow. I was hoping for some more. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Even there have had been many information. It's hard to capture anything or everything.
Yeah.
But I feel very motivated to spend more time on the Holistica training part.
That's great.
And go look into some videos.
Yeah.
And of course, I will use this in my daily work when I interview my candidates going forward. There has been some new knowledge because I have not recruiting that many persons so far. I have been in Hayes for 4 months. So I have, together with my team, successfully recruited 4 or 5 candidates or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is good. But now I feel I actually can bring something to the discussion. And for me, as a business developer, it is important that I can understand the client's business and their needs and what they actually do need.
Yeah.
So for me, feel more confident that I can ask the right questions, then I can be able to help them much better going forward. So that is what I have gained for the last 2 days. I feel much more confident. That's for sure.
That is. All of you, please tell your managers, because that's all we want from you, And to answer your question, Martin, we used to do, I would love to spend 5 days with you. And we used to do longer sessions, 3 days and 4 days. But it turns out I'm quite expensive. So so now you can get 100 hours of me anyway, but it's on the platform. But yeah,
I will start with the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's fantastic, and yes, do tell your colleagues that you found it useful, because that's the big thing we want from you. That the investment must be worth it for you. Yeah, perfect. Barbara, what about yourself?
For me, I think it will be the aspect of how I understand the need. I sometimes found it hard to understand the link between certain profile and skills, like for example, solution architect or enterprise architect.
That's right.
And I think also this will be for me a good knowledge, a good extra layer of knowledge and credibility in front of my manager.
That is excellent. That is excellent. You all took the time to kind of make those links. You understood, And again, this is that luxury of having 2 days away and just kind of being able to do it properly. So, no, thank you for that, Barbara. That's excellent. That is excellent. Purdy, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think a big part for me is like being able to pull apart job specs. So especially when I'm like running my searches and stuff, like, okay, what are things that like people in those positions, they will just do and will just be on the CV, and what are like more technical things that I actually would need to like manually search for in their CV.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's been a big thing for me.
No, that's a very practical application of the whole thing. Fantastic. Well, look, I would be delighted to see you again next year in live events if we do more Jedi. Sometimes what happens is you do these fundamentals, and then sometimes your managers set up some more heavier, like just data, and so we do the live events in that respect. But of course, the key roadmap is now to go onto the platform and just do it that way. But you've got my email address. By all means, you can always keep in touch with me that way. A lot of you are linking in with me anyway, but LinkedIn would be the place to kind of have that connection as well. And as I said, we always reach out through the platform and just keep you abreast of all the new things that are going on there as well. I don't think there's a single person around the table who cannot make it in this industry. You just got so much talent and enthusiasm. That's the key thing, passion. So I wish you all well in your career, and I look forward to meeting you at some point in the future as well. So give yourself a nice round of applause, and I shall speak to you very soon. Okay, take care.
Thank you, Ayo.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ayo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.